What's up, everybody? Welcome to Solana Weekly. This is your host, Thomas, and I want to thank you for joining in. Let's take a dive into the latest trends, use cases, and people behind the incredible growth of the Solana ecosystem. None of this is financial advice, but I'm hoping that all of this is alpha. Now let's get to the show. I am super excited today for our guest. We've got Gaius on the show today. He's an OG in the space. He's an angel investor through the library, and he's the CEO of the Vault on Solana. So I'm super excited to have him here. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, and it's a delight to be here, and it's always such a I don't know what it's so cool to be called an OG because I got to crypto so late.
Did you?
Yeah. I got started on Solana. I missed all of the good parts. And then I joined here during NFT season, which is early for Solana, sort of, But compared to all the other like real OGs, I'm such a newbie, and I still feel like a newbie, which is why I appreciate it tons that you're calling me an OG because now I feel great about myself. So thank you very
Sounds
much.
good. No, I saw your name came up, and I was like, oh man, I know exactly who that is. I've been following him for years. Like I was like, this is the perfect person to be talking about Solana right now. So I was super excited.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. And, I'm happy that Solana has serious content creators who do long form stuff and it's what the space sort of needs. So thank you very much for having me. Really.
Yeah. You're welcome. That was the original vision of the show was like, that was like 2022. There was no real podcasts. There was like a couple Twitter spaces that would go on, but I mean, Twitter spaces are tough because you talk about what's going on in that moment and there's not really much research going on anything they're talking about. So it was hard to follow. True. It was hard to like get good information from. So that's kind of how I got this going, but that's enough about me. Sorry.
Well, wait, no, not quite. You know what I also really appreciate about you, is a lot of these media companies in our space basically pay to play, right? So you wire someone money and then you get to come on and talk about whatever you want to talk about. As far as I know, I'm not paying you. Like no, right? So that's honest work. Yeah. And honest work is even more rare in our space. And I guess it hurts in the short term, but I think in the long term that definitely pays off. So awesome.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
Yeah. No, I like that. I feel like the payments, especially in podcasts, are weird because you take it through ads mostly or like pay to play where it's like, I don't want to advertise stuff that I don't use. And it's like, I don't want to really like talk to people that I don't want to have on the show. So I don't take payments for that reason, right? Like I wouldn't want to have like that responsibility of being like a spokesperson for their business if I didn't like it. Right.
Exactly. So yeah, I appreciate the transparency. I think it's awesome work and good stuff.
Yeah,
it's a good time to be in our space, right?
Oh man, it's the best. I feel like you go through years of just like the worst stuff ever, and then you get days like today where it all just makes sense, right? It's like
it all just clicks. Yeah. Zero doubt.
Yeah, it's like I don't even remember the last year of looking at the chart go down or the beginning of this year where Bitcoin was going up and hype was going to all-time highs and Solana was just kind of leaking a little bit. But that's kind of how crypto goes, right? Like, so you said you came to crypto in Solana NFT season, which was like, what, 21?
Yeah. Super late to the game.
Yeah. Which, I mean, isn't really that late. I mean, I didn't really get like hooked on crypto until then, but I'd been buying Bitcoin in like 2016, 2017 to play online poker.
You're the OG here.
But I wasn't like a holder. I wasn't stacking. I don't have like, hundreds of Bitcoins sitting around in a safe or anything, so I don't have much to show for it.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. So, I mean, the joke is always that we're all early.
Yeah.
Although I think honestly, with institutions buying and so on, I don't think mid 2025 is early.
No,
or at least we're at the end of early.
Yeah. I think that what we're seeing right now is kind of like the shift from like just the Solana community, like just like the internal ecosystem versus like, oh, actually we're starting to see some other people outside buying in. And like, we're just starting to see that. And it's like price is pushing up, it's like everything's kind of running at like full speed right now is at least the way it feels like for me. We'll see if that rings true.
Speed. Were you in New York at the Accelerate event?
No.
That was so weird in a good way, but it felt so mature. Right? There were people in suits, and others weren't laughing at the people in suits.
Really?
So
it's like a crypto conference, but like a TradFi conference.
So there were NFT people in hoodies, as as is proper for NFT people. There were a few suits, and you had the guy from Stripe on stage, who was like managing crypto or whatever, like the crypto guy, right?
Yeah.
So many real professionals were there, whereas, so I'm not a very cyberpunk kind of alternative. Like, I'm a typical crypto person, let's say.
Yeah.
I own suits, but when I just came here, when you went to events, like most of the people who were being super active in NFTs in 2021, a lot of those people were somewhat unconventional.
Yeah.
Lovely people, love all of them, but and it became like the audience became way more mainstream this year.
I mean, it's not NFTs that are going off right now. It's kind of like there's two sectors on Solana, at least is what it seems like to me. It's like there's like the meme coins where that's like always like the loudest narrative, but then it's like we've got stocks on chain, like DeFi is ripping, like there is like a ton of activity outside of just meme coins, and it's like it's not like the crypto natives at least the way I see it, right?
And so I don't touch meme coins. Yeah. I originally also never planned to touch NFTs, but we live and learn.
Yeah.
But the I think so. I have a banking background. I come from TradFi. I worked in derivatives. I worked in the trading floor, like 4 computer screens, 2 telephones, yelling all day. That was my life for a pretty long time. And so I became interested in crypto because I felt that this infrastructure would be better than the insane settlement systems that we have in traditional TradFi.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say all the other stuff is noise, because it's useful activity and it's great and it's onboarding people. But I think the North Star would always be crypto as a settlement layer being better than the trash thing that happens at Euroclear and those kinds of places.
Yeah, we're seeing that. What's crazy is like, that was right, but we were so early, like it was like, all right, we're building an alternative reality of, the traditional banking finance, or like traditional banking wires and the way that it worked. And now it's like, we're seeing, people stand up in Congress and say this, we're seeing senators saying that same line, which it's like, it is such a wild time to be seeing that, where, crypto is being
mind-blowing.
Crypto was being persecuted a year ago, like put that, like half of the protocols that were operating in the US were, in some sort of lawsuit against them.
Exactly.
Versus the government, where now the government is wide open and saying like, hey, come back to the US. The US is going to be the crypto capital of the world, I live in the US, and it's like, it's mind boggling for me. I'm sure, everyone's kind of feeling that, but it's a crazy time.
This is also why I think, and this isn't financial advice and all that other stuff, and I'm an idiot, don't listen to me, blah, blah, blah. But in principle, this thing is trending up.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's down for a bit, and then everyone gets super sad on the timeline and people become rude again and all that sort of stuff. But, it sort of trends up.
Yeah.
The way if you had invested in the American stock market in whatever, like early 20th century or something, it wobbles a little bit, but it trends up. So same thing here, which is sort of the entire ecosystem is maturing. It's going to the next level. There's adoption, so price will follow. Right? Yeah. It's sort of It's now not as scary as it was. Like, remember post-FTX? That wasn't fun.
No, that wasn't wild. I mean, it was a wild time. People can see,
Yes.
you can look at the charts, but like if you aren't there and like I feel like we get kind of like a pretty depressive timeline on crypto pretty often these days, but like it was a year of that, you know, it was,
Yeah.
and it was everybody else in every other ecosystem just dumping on Solana. Everybody hated it. You know, they were calling us the poor chain, the poors, you know, it was all of
Well,
that.
we were at
And
that point. We were like,
and they were right. But yeah, but I'd still say like, even like in the downturn times, like there were still like good communities on there, but right. Like, I feel like at least like the NFTs like brought people together and
yep.
like, you know, it was still like, you know, there was still a lot of activity and there were still a lot of people building things. So it kind of kept me around. I was like, all right, like it, maybe there's a lot of parts of it that aren't working, you know, there's not that much liquidity on the chain, but like people are still buying NFTs, you know, like there's still people showing up in a Discord and arguing about things, you know, it was like, it was still, I don't know, it still felt like there was so much there. So I just doubled down and never left.
Yeah. So this is, I'm sorry to bring it back to business, but so with the vault, right? We stake to validators like other LSTs.
Yeah.
But tying into what we just discussed, we are what we saw post FTX was that there were essentially two things that kept the lights on, right? It was the people who still came into their discords in a little Twitter, like the little group chats that you had, keep making fun like all day long. So that was awesome. These communities on Solana really, you know, through all the trauma, really bonded.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. And then the other cohort of people that kept the lights on here were the validator operators, right?
Yeah.
Because even when activity went way down, people kept doing it. So what we basically said is, look, there were those two groups of people overlapped. So validators and communities, we're going to support those validators. So that's sort of where that got started. We want to, you know, so we take Sol and we stake it to validators that are operated by communities. Because then you know the revenue sort of flows back into those communities, and we give back a little, and everyone's happy. So I don't think people. And when you look at a chart, it always feels super easy to basically say, "Oh, well, this is where I would have bought, and then I would have held, obviously, and then during the up and up, like whatever." But it was really tough to be here at that point in time, and I think that cohort of people who were there stayed there. And were like building, and even if you were just saying GM on Twitter, you were still actively building like the community fabric on the little ecosystem. So it's all awesome, and that's that's why everything that's happening right now is awesome because there's so many people that were there when things sucked, and seeing everyone sort of flourish now is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we deserved it. We got lucky.
We did. Yeah.
And we're blessed, but it's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. You can see the chart, but like, you don't see like the sentiment behind, you don't see people, I've sold everything, or the other people laughing at you for still holding. Like psychologically, it's like the hardest thing to hold and when it's the best time to buy. Right. So I just kind of put on a DCA and didn't look at the prices for a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was like the best financial decision that I ever made, you know, with,
well done.
you know, Solana at $10, you know, like it was fantastic. But, you know, at the time, you know, it would go like, you know, down to $9, down to $8, up to 11, then back down to 8. And it would just be devastating. Right.
Yeah. But also and then it went back up to 20, right?
Yeah.
Which sort of felt, oh, we still got it. We're back. We're so back at 20. And then the slog from 20 to 30 or 40.
Oh, forever. It was
forever.
Yeah. Was it a year? I want to say it was like 8 months or something like that. Yeah.
And then, so it wasn't just, but people were building cool stuff.
Yeah, they were.
And that's sort of, I mean, I'm not hoping for a similar bad time ahead of us, but oh my God, the because the only people who were still building during that period where nothing happened were really, really like really dedicated people who really wanted all of this to work.
Yeah.
They weren't the people coming here for easy money, because there was no easy money here at that point in time.
Yeah.
So that was awesome.
And it's when some of the best protocols were built out, right? Like look at some of the top protocols now. It's like maybe they had like early stages of their products released, but they really like went heads down all in on Solana at that point. And because of that, you know, we see like the Tensors, the Jupiters, like Camino, all those, like they all just like heads down. And now those are some of the best products in crypto, right?
Exactly. I mean, look at the, I'm sadly not an investor, but the backpack guys who lost so much money during all of the, and
they lost,
and they're still here.
90% of their treasury, right, on FTX.
Exactly. And they're still here and they're crushing it.
They're absolutely crushing it. They have like one of the biggest centralized exchanges now, right?
Yes. They deserve everything.
Yeah.
All the good things that come their way, they deserve it, because I mean, they kept going. And so I think we were lucky that Solana got started during this NFT madness, because that made the social cohesion like a real thing real quickly. Remember in August or September 2021, it's like, oh, you are a monkey, or you know, you are a thug. That was sort of a thing that you could even, okay, you must be a little bit like this or a little bit like that, based on oh, you have laser eye.
Yeah.
You have an expensive monkey. That must mean you are dope.
Yeah. I still think that way about NFTs, and it's just completely wrong, but I still see like a cool monkey, or I saw your gecko. I was like, oh man, geckos are so awesome. It's like, why don't I have one anymore? But it's,
I can still browse NFTs and feel the urge of, oh, I really want that one, even though I know it's nonsense, but my brain wants them.
Yeah. I'd the exact same. And you know, it was actually like I was into, what was I into? I was like into ETH, and NFTs came out. Like they never made sense to me, right? Like to mint an NFT would cost like $100 to send it from one wallet to another. Like there was no introductory. Like you couldn't buy one for $5 and then just like send it to a different wallet for free.
Mm-hmm.
Where Solana came out, and it was the geckos that actually was like my first mint on Solana. Wow. And first of all, it was cool. And like it all worked. Like it took a couple times to actually mint it. Like a couple transactions failed. Yeah. But I was
there like 5 tabs open.
But I minted a neon one, and I sold it for 10x within the first hour. And I was like, NFTs make sense.
Yeah, then you're hooked.
I was absolutely hooked, bought like 3 more, and you know, like the rest is history. So it was like that. Well, and that whole experience, like I bought it, sold it, and like the fees were absolutely like minimal. I was like, oh, this seems like paradise. This is like what I want. And like the UI of everything, like it was still early days, but like Phantom was like a game changer from MetaMask in the beginning. Like everything about Solana just kind of felt like more polished.
Yeah. So for me, so I was interested in the DeFi side of things.
Yeah.
So like in July, I played around with Pancake Swap on BNB or something.
Yeah. Okay.
With Uniswap on ETH, and then Radium on Solana.
Yeah.
And I was more or less doing in that order as well. And then I came to the Radium thing, and I thought, this is obviously the better one of these 3 things. So I still have a sheet that's called the Solana pivot, where I outlined like the first things that I would buy here.
Yeah.
And then it made sense. Like this one does work, because ETH was too slow and crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I bought like 1K worth of some nonsense thing, and then I tried to swap it, and then I had already lost like 10% of.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
It's insane how that worked. Like, and when ETH was doing that stuff, like I think the only reason why it made sense is people had so much ETH that like you lose a couple $100 a transaction and you don't mind. But it's like, if you're looking at that from the outside, those are so insane.
No, and the only reason why you don't mind is if your entire net worth is dependent on ETH and you are sort of forced to not care
Yeah.
Right. So you become blind by your own greed. Like that's what's happening if you think that's okay.
Yeah.
And the B&B thing felt like super scammy, and I didn't. Well, maybe I was on the wrong thing, right? So I have such little visibility on what happens outside the Solana ecosystem. So I've just done 1 or 2 Uniswap phase, and then 1 or 2 Pancake swap.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Swap. Yeah.
Pancake
I
swap,
never even used Pancake Swap, but yeah.
It was fast.
The early days of Sol DeFi were like kind of like the Wild West, right? So like, I feel like the early tokens that were released, it was like they were
Serum. I was playing out with Serum a lot, and Radium.
Yeah. Well, there was like one called Francium. I used to put ST Sol. It was the old, like the first liquid staking token, maybe, or maybe the second. Lido. I used to stake that there, and I was like, man, I want to get 100 Solana staked on there. It's gonna be so cool. But
Hey, 100 Sol is cool.
Yeah.
So I think Marinade was also quite early to that entire scene.
You guys were fairly early to a liquid staking token as well, right? Like I feel like at least before what is it, Sanctum came out, where they just kind of like made it like, all right, everybody can have a liquid staking token. You guys came out well before that, didn't you?
The Vault?
Yeah.
No, the Vault launched last year.
Oh, really?
I feel like
the Vault.
No. So Marinade is super OG.
Yeah.
And some of the people who work at the Vault also worked at Marinade in the past.
Okay.
We all love the Marinade team, like super cool crew. We started the Vault. Well, we started talking about the Vault, I want to say January 2024.
Okay. Time gets muddled when you're
Tristan. And so we've been live for maybe it's a year.
Maybe, yeah.
In that case, we should be celebrating, to be honest.
Yeah.
I should call the guys. We should do something.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it's young, but Marinade was there really early.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they might have been the first, right? Them or Lido.
And then Lido, of course, came originally from ETH, and then they tried to do the same trick here, but they're Lido, so boo, and then they left. Wasn't it with Serum that if you stake like a really big chunk, you could also was 500 or 5,000 tokens or something. You had a different button you had to click, and then there was a different rewards attached to it or something.
Yeah, was it like
it was
super Serum, maybe?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it was like Alameda was like kind of it was kind of like them. They were all backing it. They put all the liquidity in there, and then they were also advising all like the early teams on like their tokenomics. So what they did in the early days was they would recommend like, hey, like have like a low flow token, have it out there, and then Alameda would just farm the hell out of them in the beginning, right? So token would come out, there would be farms for them, and APY would be like 1,000% or 800% in the beginning. So I'd jump in these, I'd be like, man, I'm making so much money, but the token price would just go to zero. Yeah. So they'd list those tokens on FTX, and then they would just short them, take all, they would farm as many tokens as they could, and then they'd sell.
Take our money.
Yeah. So it was like set up pretty like, I don't know.
It's pretty predatory.
It was pretty predatory in the beginning. So I feel like that kind of led into like why NFTs really took off, because they didn't have that. And then that also led to like, we didn't really have meme coins and for like a year or two until Bonk really came out.
Yeah.
Right? Like there weren't tokens. I guess there wasn't really an easy way to spin up a token before like Pump came probably. But people didn't believe in tokens on Solana for a long time.
No, we have non-fungible ones, right?
Yeah.
And now. But it was great. I remember that first summer we all minted all the NFTs, and I had this strategy where you remember Solana Floor, the website.
Oh yeah,
which that showed the floor price of all the collections, and I basically said, okay, so I'm going to build an index for myself, and I'm just going to own a couple of all of them. That was my brilliant strategy. And because Sol, doubled while we were doing all of this, and everything that you minted like shot up 10x or 20x.
Yeah,
it was a gold mine.
It was insane. Like people think that meme coins are like an instant flip or something like that, or you make way more money with meme coins. But NFTs, like if you go to like OK Bears, they went from like 1 or 2 SOL to like 100 SOL in a day or two.
Yes.
Right. Like, and if you were there, you had like, I don't know, you could buy a couple before on the pre-sale, or you had a whitelist, so you're able to buy it earlier too. Like it was kind of stacked. Like if you had like a SMB, or you were in Monkey DAO, you got like an allocation to all of these early. Exactly. So it was like a cheat trick. So it was a good time.
It was rigged, but it was fun.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and the discords were amazing. Still are. But were you in the town hall call with Monkey DAO when the guy bought the king monkey?
No,
for an insane amount of it. It was the best.
I don't think I was. He bought it for like $1.3 million or something like that.
Yes,
and he did it. It was the CEO, or not the CEO, the founder of Orca, I want to say.
Yeah, and then we were in the weekly town hall, and then he just bought it while that was happening. Oh, and we were like, "Oh my god!" That was the best Solana moment.
Yeah. Oh, that really was. Yeah,
it was really amazing. And the my second best Solana moment was during a Thugbird town hall. Someone wasn't sweeping the floor, which is what you called it when you bought all the cheapest NFTs, and he said no, he swept the ceiling. So he bought all the most expensive ones. That was so dope.
I've never even heard of that. You buy all the expensive ones?
Jeez. Yeah, you bought a few super, because you had the red shades and you had the blue shades and then the golden shades, or so they were there, and with the thing. Good time.
Oh yeah, that was. Yeah, there's so much drama. I feel like people don't get those communities anymore, just because it's all about meme coins and what's the next meme coin coming out, where everything's like so short. They're so short lived. Where it's like the NFT community is like, I don't know, when did Monkey DAO start? Like 4 years ago. It's been going. A lot of these have been going for 3 years or so. So
it's amazing.
I feel like a lot of like the early NFT communities were like where all the builders were too, right? Like they were like building protocols, so they were staying on Solana, and it at least a lot of them that I know had like Monkey profile pictures, and they were building. So it was kind of cool to watch.
Although what happened for me towards the end of 2021 is, what sort of happened is you kept seeing the same faces over and over again, right?
Yeah.
So what you would also
the same Discord, whenever Discord it was the same people. Yeah.
Same. But then you get to the point where, okay, so if he and he and he and he are buying, then this is a good one.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm not seeing these guys, this isn't a good one.
Yeah.
That sort of happened. And then you started having like Discord servers, sort of invite only places, where you would have people from different communities talking about like whatever. And that really changed a lot for me, because at that point I thought, okay, then now it no longer matters what PFP I'm using, because I'm talking to these people outside of my original NFT click.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that really changed things for me. And so I'm not in groups where people talk about meme coins all the time, or if I am, I have those chats on mute. So I missed all of it. I just added Bonk because I like the Bonk guys and what they did for Solana. No meme coins. So I because I still sleep. Like I enjoy my sleep. I don't like all the crazy stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a different take on it. So first of all, I love Bonk too. I feel like of all of my bets, like I'm most confident in my Bonk holdings, just because like, I don't know, these guys have been building on Solana for, I don't know, 3 years. They could have all left. They could have just like dropped a coin and had that be it. But it's like, instead of doing that, they're just going to build all the coolest shit that they can. Yeah. And like, they help fund like all of the early communities too. So like,
they're amazing.
They did a fantastic job on that. But, with meme coins, I am in a couple of meme coin chats, and it's like on days where I just like, all right, like I want to gamble. I'll just go in and like throw like a SOL or two at a couple and kind of like probably end up breaking even, never really make that much. But it's like, it's interesting to kind of like get in that mindset and feel it and see, like for a little while, some coins were going up a lot, but yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you see some people in those chats that are just in there, not sleeping, just, they're in there all the time.
So what I after I had my NFT with it for a while, but after this, I've basically been spending all my time on Twitter and in Discords and in one-on-one conversations, just essentially begging people to stop doing silly shit.
Yeah,
because what sort of frustrates me in all of this is everyone should have fun, like have fun however you want to have fun, but there's such a golden opportunity here to just own an asset, stop messing around, and changing your grandchildren's life. If you are okay with just doing it in 5 or 10 years instead of in a week,
yeah,
you can really do something meaningful here.
Yeah,
and so this is why I always tweet, like, don't ignore all influencers, just stake your soul and watch it grow and be happy. Because like doing nothing is super hard. So I get it. People want to make moves, trade, do all the cool stuff, draw lines, pretend the lines have influence over what's happening. But like stop, just buy and like DCA and be happy that you're here, and then help builders enjoy life, that sort of stuff. And I'm so saddened by people who are sort of lucky enough to be here early, be in our ecosystem with a little bit of size, and then waste it all on trying to get rich in like the shortest amount of time possible. Yeah. Whereas, what you can make here in a decade is already so significant compared to anything else in the world, that what feels slow to crypto people is actually already breakneck speed and like, what are you doing, risky kind of thing. So I wish people would stop doing it. I wish people would stop posting P&L cards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because we're so
I agree. I agree so much with that. Like you're one of like the few like reasonable voices on Twitter. Like, I don't know about you, but like my Twitter feed's bad, right? Like you go to like, the For You page and like, it's bad. I've got like a couple lists that I go, and there's like some good people on there that like have reasonable long-term takes on there. But the opportunity right now for crypto, it's like, there's no cap for the upside, right? Like it is massive. It's unprecedented. It's, you turn on the news and there's another senator talking about Bitcoin. There's like Solana is talking at the All In podcast. Like the stage is like a global stage for crypto right now, where it's a better system than the traditional system, and everybody's finding out right now. It's like,
so. Yeah. Why jump off this train?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, fartcoin community, but I just like the word. So why, if all of this is working, you say, okay, I'm going to sell my soul, I'm going to buy some fartcoin. What are you doing?
Yeah. It's insane too. And Solana particularly, it's like, for staking, you get such good rewards for it. Yeah. So like, to just stake your Solana, get like 7 to 10% back for just holding. You get rewarded that. And not only that, it's like the asset soul is going to be big, right? Like I always say that Solana is kind of like a bet on the adoption of crypto, because if people are going to be using crypto in their real life, like Solana is really the only one that you can do it with, right? So that's like my mindset. The uptick in users, the transactions, like the total DeFi usage, like all of the metrics that you want to track are skyrocket, right? Yeah. And with that is going to come the increase in price. So like, that's like my mentality, obviously, not financial advice or anything, but to get 7% back on an asset that, millions of people are interacting with daily, like
it's amazing.
It's great. Yeah.
It's so hard to outperform staked soul. And then especially if you correct it for the extra risk you take the moment you start actively trading it, which, everyone here believes that they, are the trading masterminds, and that they can draw lines And that, of course, everyone says, yeah, you shouldn't use leverage, but I can because I'm like so gifted in my risk management. Like, whatever, stop leverage trading, stop trading, buy the thing, stake it, and enjoy life.
Yeah.
Get a different hobby that, because sitting on your hands is super hard, but do something else. Don't leverage trade because, you likely suck at it.
Yeah, there's too many opportunities for you to like lose your money, and trading. I mean, if you're putting a lot of money in assets that are going up, 100x down and down with just a wick, like it's insane. And I mean, people do it with a lot of money. Some people come out on top, a lot of people don't. And it's not needed, right? Like,
no.
I don't think a lot of it is necessary. So I really like the kind of reasonable approach. It's hard to not get caught up in it. Like you see a day like today, Solana kind of looks like it's going to break out. I mean, it's up a couple percent on the day, I don't know, maybe over 10% over the last week or month or so, but it's
insane.
That alone is great. Like if you look at that versus like any, I don't know, I was going to say any normal stock, but stocks are kind of turning into memes these days too. But versus like a traditional asset, like we're doing fantastic.
We are. Exactly. And so it's such a shame that people ruin what they have in pursuit of something that could be okay. But the L1 is great.
Yeah.
Right. And, take a little portion of your money and use it to mess around and do cool stuff and then be entertained or whatever. But it's a shame. Like more people should just do the boring stuff because the boring stuff already secretly isn't that boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just feels boring to crypto people, but it's not. It's super volatile.
Yeah. So there was a while back where Kobe, Crypto Cobain, or now he's just Kobe on Twitter. He posted a triangle that it was like Kobe's triangle of like how to make it in crypto. And it was like 70 to 80% like Bitcoin or like your L1. And then it was like, a couple other coins that you like. And then, the top like 5%, that's where you go play and mess around with whatever. So it's like, for some reason that stuck in my mind. So like any sort of like meme coin or anything else that I've gone into, it's small, a couple $100, but it's like, I get that out of my system and then I leave the rest on the ledgers, I don't even mess around with any of it. Where I feel like that was good advice where we don't have like that many people that are preaching that type of stuff anymore.
No, because it's very easy to get followers by throwing around leverage all the time, and then if you have more followers, you can do the whatever you whatever. So I get it, but it's I wish people wouldn't.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, so stake your soul, sit on it, hold it for a while. I mean, it's like it's gonna go up and it's gonna go down in the short term, but like maybe don't look at the 5-minute chart. Like if you're going to be investing in an asset for, 5 to 10 years, maybe look at it on a yearly chart, maybe look at it on, monthly chart. I don't know.
And if you have a DCA order where you buy a little bit every day, right? And then on days where you sort of are hoping that no buys are getting executed because everything's crashing and you feel terrible, I think that's the day where you should put in another DCA order to buy slightly more.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it. If you just do this consistently, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I guess not financial advice, of course, like don't sue me, but it feels like if you are spending 10 hours a day here, you're sort of super committed to the ecosystem, then you should at least be well off if this ecosystem indeed flourishes.
Yeah.
Right? So it would be such a shame if you spend all this time and energy here and then it all moons, but your shitty derivative didn't. And then it was all for nothing. You can never explain this to yourself. Like if you fast forward 80 years or like whatever how old you are, and you think back on this time, and no, you'll feel terrible if you lost this golden opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like someone got started working in the internet, right? In 99 or something, then fails to make money. That's terrible.
Yeah. Well, it's like there was like the one crash in 99 or whatever year that was, but like since then, look at how much wealth has been generated from it. It kind of feels like like a similar moment for crypto in general, where it's, just hang on and you're probably going to be doing just fine.
Yeah. Software is eating the world.
Yeah.
And right now it's eating money. So just be part of this and don't ruin it. So that's why I like boring stuff. And, sometimes I feel a little bit preachy when telling people to stop doing the degenerate stuff. But so many people are building their online brand around do city shit. And I also think it makes sense that a few people try to do the opposite.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, right now, particularly like what gets you clicks and views and likes and retweets on Twitter is like the most extreme stuff. So it's the people, making and losing, 99% of their wealth in a day that you're going to see, which I don't know, not a good way. It's hard to get alpha on Twitter these days.
Well, what we call alpha is insider trading in the real world. Right. And but what I do like is, because so many people don't spend any time thinking, that the bar for finding cool stuff and then talking about it and doing something smart, it's fairly easy to, if you want to, sort of, and you just ignore all the silly shit, you can buy some really, really cool things here.
Yeah.
So I understand that Warren Buffett thinks all of this is a scam and a mess and so on, but I think there's some real gems here. And, I sometimes dislike how in crypto we pretend as if cash flow is not a thing, and like there's no reason why cash flow should flow to token holders. Why would it? That's a bit of a weird way to think about investing.
Yeah.
But there are definitely there are ways here where network activity translates into cash going into some owners' hands, and if you just own those things, life's pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now you mentioned that line on a chart could determine, where everything's going. I feel like nobody, maybe there's like a few people on Twitter are like technical traders. They're, they're great technical analysis, but everybody else just kind of like sees like a line on a chart and they're like, hey, maybe that's going up or down. But it's like, that's actually not really like what determines the price, right?
No.
Like it might show you, what happened because of something, but you don't see what the reason for it was or anything. Like, do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Well, look, so full disclosure, when I was young, I bought a bunch of books on, I am still young, of course, but when I was younger, I bought a bunch of books on technical analysis as well. So I understand the appeal, right? But I like to, and I do this just to make people aware of, how silly some of these things sound. And sometimes I sound a little bit more judgmental than I actually am. But I don't think anyone can trade here on Twitter. I just don't. There's Rain. Like Rain is ridiculously gifted. But outside of that one human, Rain, no one can do technical analysis on crypto. Because everyone here, it's just, this is not a thing. Like, I don't think technical analysis is a thing. I don't think lines predict anything. If you hold the chart upside down, it still works. That's kind of weird. And then all of these patterns like rising, doji, inverted hem, golden cross, like whatever. But it's just not a thing. And you know why it's not a thing? Because in principle, the price of something should be linked to the actual business performance of the thing. And so short term, like a bunch of weird things happen, and you can draw your lines and like be happy, do your thing. But long term, it's essentially, revenue up means price up.
Yeah. No, I would 100% agree. Like you have to like look at it more than just looking at a chart. And one time I paid for TradingView Pro. And I paid for the version where it gives you like the AI analysis of like, oh, this is a bullish signal. Let's go. Yeah. And so I was like so excited on it. I made a couple trades. They went terribly. And then I realized like, oh, there's like, you could just kind of like there's hundreds of different indicators on every chart at any different time. And you can just cherry pick a good one and say, look at the chart's going up, or you can cherry pick a bad one and say, look at the chart's going down. It's like, it's all just kind of witchcraft.
Yeah, but it's nonsense. Like the real thing that's happening is interest rates have been low for a very long time. Crypto adoption is growing, meaning price of all of these things basically goes up unless it's total horseshit, right? So the terrible things die, and then the good things just trend up.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Yeah,
so you don't need to be like an expert trading. You just need to hold the thing, and then wait for the entire world to use it too.
Yeah.
So everything trends up here.
Yeah. Do you think that goes into like dollar debasement at all, or are you talking just interest rates?
I mean, I think the whole dollar debasement, like that's a thing. I just don't really have an opinion on it because it's very, then you need to talk to like those really like people who love the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the dollar is backed by nothing. Well, I don't know.
It seems like a lot. Seems like it's backed by a lot. Yes.
It seems pretty impressive from the sidelines. But I do think like the inflation is real.
Yeah.
The prices. I read a book on what happened in the Weimar Republic in Germany, like when they had the big inflation problem.
World War I, right? Or
in the middle. So between and all that. Like at the end of it, you could buy like bread. You needed to have a pocket full of
like a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, the wheelbarrow.
At the end of the day. Yeah.
That was at the end of it. But at the beginning, what mostly was happening was that house prices shot up.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So anyway, nice little parallel there.
Yeah. So house prices now are not going down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's something weird going on with fiat money, but like whatever, it will be solved or not, like whatever. But I just generally think that like traditional finance is what, a quarter of world GDP or something, or a third or a quarter, like something massive.
Yeah.
But it's running on technology from the 50s.
Yeah.
And that's super old, which is why so much of it sucks. So you need new technology. So this is essentially a market which could grow into about a quarter of world GDP. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
And
the
it's
upside,
better.
Yeah, the upside is
so that's the upside. The upside is a quarter of world GDP. It's currently super small. So we have ways to grow. And then in addition, maybe Bitcoin replaces the US dollar or whatever. Like I don't know. I don't have time to think about such outlandish things. What I'm just seeing is people trade here instead of there, where it's pricey and takes long. So
yeah, that's funny. So one thing that I do want to mention. So we got to talk about the library, and where you sent me before this was to the trading channel there, and the trading channel says specifically this is no trading in this channel. It's not for trading, and we talked a lot about trading here. So.
Yeah, but we spoke about how annoying it is that everyone's doing it. So that's why when the library got started was stop trading, and just use your head.
Yeah.
And so in the library you're not allowed to talk about price or like momentum or like what's Sol going to do today, like whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter. Let's talk about tokenomics. Let's talk about how well a product is built or the team that's building it. Let's talk about go-to-market strategy. Let's talk about all the things that are relevant to company building, and price is the least interesting one out of all of those things.
Yeah. And so that's an incredible asset too, to check it out. Like there is a ton of knowledge to be had that you guys it's pretty open to go check out. Like if you want to learn about,
it's free for all.
Free for all, and learn about any protocol, and tons of information in there, and good conversation seems like with really intelligent people in there too. So it's a great group. I definitely recommend checking out for anybody.
Well, look, we got started in 2022.
Did you?
So it's old. And a lot of people who come there also don't like talking about price all the time.
Yeah.
So what happened is founders go there because they don't want to talk about price all the time. They just want to help other founders with, stuff. And then a bunch of TradFi people came there. So a lot of banker people, they are there because it feels like home to them, which makes sense because we're sort of the same blood type, right? And then when someone comes in and wants to talk about like charts or whatever, they usually leave because it's like no one cares. Yeah. And I think communities become stronger when you make crystal clear what you don't want to be. Because everyone wants the same, like, the positive things everyone should feel included, and we do cool stuff and we're happy, blah, blah, blah. But by defining what you're not, life becomes way easier. So we don't talk about trading. And we just help founders either by advice, by listening, or by investing. That's the whole, that's it.
It's such a better way to like have a community than to just talk about prices all the time. Like when I started doing interviews on this podcast, like I was just blown away at how much fun I had talking to people about like what they're building, what they're doing, like why they made that decision, why are they choosing Solana. And I realized like the least interesting parts of the conversations that I had were when I was talking about the price or like economics of something. I feel like that was like a side. I was like, all right, I'm just going to focus on like people building in the space and hear what they're doing, because that's fun. And then you can go on forever learning about what people are doing.
That's so cool. And so at the Vault, we have a bunch of amazing engineers, developers, right? And so we got started as an LST, which isn't too technically like complicated. We grew it. We have 1.6 million of SOL and TVL, so it became a big project, really cool. But what's happening now essentially is the devs basically said, we have a little bit of revenue, we're growing, we're feeling good about ourselves. Someone says, I actually want to build XYZ, which is slightly different, but pretty cool. Can I build it? Yeah, please go build it. This is cool. And it sort of became like this little playground for developers to just build awesome stuff.
Awesome.
And we have a really cool community that's embracing it. We're building out really cool stuff. We're experimenting in tons of ways. But this is like a privileged position that I have, because what I basically now get to do in the weekly meetings is just some silly, super talented dev just goes full, the way they do, explain about what they're building and why they think it's super cool and it will help Solana and the protocol and so on. And just hearing these people talk about what they're building, why they're building it, how they're building it, that's so much more fun than looking at a chart all day.
It's so much more productive too, right? Like they're like actually contributing to society, and it's like, that sounds like a place where it's like devs would thrive, right? Like if you're in like a Web2 job, or you're like working on some back-end code, like doing something that doesn't really matter, where it's like, they're like, hey, I really want to build this. I think it would be fun. I think it could contribute, where it's like, that's what they want to be doing. And that's where they're going to be like doing the most for everybody.
And this is also, so in the early days, all that Solana had were, no, not all, a big part of the Solana developer community was people in a real job who in the weekends and the evenings were tinkering.
Yeah.
And you can't outspend a cohort of developers who use their free time to do something because they care, right? Because they will always outwork like any army of paid developers in some big Web2 firm.
Yeah.
So that's what we used to have. So we're very much used to not having a dev on standby like during the day all the time, but just you WhatsApp them and then you hope that they reply, and it takes weeks to build something, but then at some point it gets back. So that's how building on Solana used to work.
Yeah.
But now because of the change in your government, essentially, is that you have real talent coming over.
Yeah.
And like people are willing to risk their reputation and their careers by building on Solana. So now the level of people coming in is it's like everything is becoming better.
Yeah.
So I'm also so confident that 2 or 3 years from now, the products that we'll see are going to be even better than what we had. But these new developers are sort of welcomed by a group of veterans who were doing this on the side all the time.
Yeah.
And it's such a lovely mix.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
You can't beat somebody that's having fun and doing something in their free time, right? Like that's like what they should be doing.
Exactly. Because everyone who was building during the sad year, let's say, and they sometimes didn't get paid.
Yeah.
But they still showed up and they still did it and they still built things. And so that's, you can't out hustle such a culture.
No.
And the crucial thing for Solana in the coming years will be how to not become ETH in the sense of not too elitist, like people who have too much money, they stop working.
Yeah.
So how we sort of maintain this grit and keep developers tinkering on Solana, that's a challenge.
Yeah, it definitely is. It seems like Solana's like the way that they, like from the top, even like from Totally, like I feel like he's always like super interested in like challenging himself, challenging everyone. Like he's out like fighting about like technical details on Twitter with anybody that will fight him pretty much. And it seems like it's open, challenging. And it's also like, it's a high level, man. Like they're like when Solana comes out with something new, like it's a drastic improvement, right? Like Alpenglow that's coming out, like it's not just like a small improvement. It's not just like a little bit better. It's like 100x better, right?
And Tony is setting the tone.
Yeah.
So this is a developer first ecosystem. Like despite what you see on Twitter with the kids and the P&L charts and so on, this is a developer first ecosystem.
Yeah.
And that's super important, right? So hearing devs do cool stuff and giving them a platform and a voice and making them the hero in this story, like that's crucial.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Yeah. It's good to see. And it's good to see that you guys are rewarding, the communities that have been here for a while with the vault, right? So you said that you're basically putting together your validating, your staking with other clients that have been running for a while and are running with communities, right?
Yeah. So if you operate a community anchored validator, so that usually means like it could also be like a protocol that operates a validator or just a group of friends who have a validator, like all that sort of stuff. You can apply it to like via the vault, and then we have a decentralized board voting on like everything being legit and so on, and then you can become eligible to receive stake. So we stake around 9K per validator, 9K SOL. So it's a good chunk, and it works really well, right? So the communities are happy. We're earning staking yield for the people who hold the VSOL, so that's great, of course. So everyone sort of wins, and it's a really cool ecosystem to be a part of. And we're building so many cool things, and so the future's great, which is of course what I should be saying, but it's also true. We're with cool stuff in the pipeline, and we're doing something which other protocols aren't doing but should. It's a little bit complicated, which is why other protocols aren't doing it, right? But traditionally in crypto, you farm something and then you're airdropped free money. Like that's how you sort of
pay the early users or something, right?
Yeah, which is cool for early users, but from a company building point of view, it's a little weird because imagine if you would get a Apple share with every iPhone you bought. Like that doesn't work.
Yeah,
because your equity is the most important thing that you own. So what we do is we airdrop points, and then you get to buy our token at a discount.
Okay.
So that's
you still have to have like some skin in the game in order.
Yeah, you need to put in money.
Yeah.
Right. So you get the right to buy our token cheaper.
Yeah.
So end of September we have our first expiration window where you take the points that you farmed and then you have the right to buy our token at a discount.
That's smart.
So we'll see how it goes. But I think. So I generally hope that protocols would take their token a little bit more seriously. It's not just a marketing gimmick to, farm users or whatever. And understand that it's easier to just airdrop them free money and hope that the chart becomes green. But I think that's very hard. And so, what we're doing is we're allowing people to acquire our token at a discount, which means we are fundraising as this happens. So that's different.
Yeah.
And it's not as generous as airdropping free money. So I get it. Everyone wants free money, but now instead has to buy the token. But I really think more protocols should consider doing this. It's fairly easy to set up. Our wonderful devs can help you if you want to do this, because they also believe in this model.
Yeah. It's tough. Doing a token is tough. Everybody wants to do a token. And then there's different ways to do it. And if you do it the wrong way, you end up with a token that goes down only, no matter how good your business is, It's like there's business equity and then there's your token where you can't really link them up together, right? Because it can't quite be a security. So you have to kind of like buybacks or some sort of revenue going back to it, right?
But like our TGE was on the 23rd of July this year. So no fancy mechanics just yet. But I've been tweeting about how essential it is for companies to reward their owners since 2021.
Yeah.
So I've always been pretty consistent in the messaging. The problem of like token being like down only, even though it's a good protocol, that's typically because no one has built anything tying together the economic success of the company with the economic success of the token.
Yeah.
So if there is no link between those two things, of course the token goes down. I don't believe in the attention economy. Like I don't think that's a thing. I'm not going to buy a token just because I think other people will buy the token. That's too hard to predict.
Yeah.
But you need like revenue up should mean token up. And in the real world, dividends do this.
Yeah.
Even companies that don't pay dividends yet will like everyone assumes like, okay, at some point you'll pay dividends.
Yeah.
Which is because if they never ever pay any dividends, then it's like, then the thing is broken.
Yeah.
Then you just own branded paper. It's nothing.
Yeah.
There should be cash flow to owners.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there definitely should. It's interesting to see the different ways that you're able to do it. So it seems like you guys are working out a good way to do it.
Yeah. And so, it's, you can't be paying dividends if your company is still in growth mode.
Yeah.
Right. Because then keeping the money in and putting it to work is what's best. And so we're still fundraising, right? So, obviously, but at some point, you would expect any token on Solana that takes their owner seriously should find some way of translating economic activity into cash flow to the token holders.
Yeah. 100%. Sounds good. So what else are you up to? You got anything else at library that coming up?
Yeah. So the library is actually, so tomorrow we are showing my new PFP, where like together with Utopia, we're launching a one-of-one collection. We're going to be auctioning these off. Super cool. So this is the launch of a new one-of-one community on Solana, which is always exciting. There's a few of them. Yeah. So that's really cool.
Some of the best communities are like the one-of-one communities, right? Like,
yes, because small works.
Yeah.
Small works. So the idea is we take the proceeds from the auctions, we stake them to the library validator because we operate a validator as well. Then we will use those, like the earnings from that staked SOL, we're going to invest it into companies. So we're also operating a syndicate where essentially, so a syndicate, maybe good to explain this. How it works is either me or someone from the team wants to do a deal. So that person puts in money, and the library puts in a little bit of money from the treasury, which is generated by these things. And then other members in the library, especially the PFP owners, can choose to participate in these deals. So you can say, yeah, I want to be in this, or you pass. Like you do your own research. We don't decide for you that you should be in. This is all you.
Yeah.
But you can choose to participate in the deal. That's why it's a syndicate. So it's not a fund. There's not a group that decides, are we going to do this deal? Yes or no? No. It's a library team member investing in a deal, either myself or one of my colleagues. And then other people, we write up why we like the deal, and then people can join. But it's their own decision. They're not forced to. Also for risk reasons, most of these angel deals go to zero.
Yeah.
But it's super risky. Like, don't do this.
Well,
don't join.
Like I've done a couple of angel deals, not that many, but it's like my mentality on them is like, all right, essentially I'm either not going to get this money back, or in a couple of years I'll get a good payday. Like that I'm not even, not even expecting. Right. Cause it's like, I will, at least for me, it was like, these companies are cool. I want to see them, I want to watch them succeed, and it's cool that I can put some money in early. So
Yeah, and so in the library we also help these founders, right? So it's more or less going on a journey together that will likely end in ruin, but that's okay because it's early stage investing.
Yeah.
And so those things typically go to zero.
Yeah.
So you have your soul back doing its staking thing, like leave that alone.
Yeah.
And then you have your play money where you can do these things. I personally think it's wonderful if you invest in someone who's doing something cool.
Yeah.
And just be there. Don't be one of those people in group chats that constantly asks like the win token and what's the yeah, don't be the mean guy in the chat. Just be the supportive guy in the chat. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So I love like I'm not a big investor, but I'm a really good cheerleader. So I'm always happy for founders. I love what they're doing and here to help. So that's what we're doing in the library. So that's great. So the vault is scaling. That's cool. Investing via the library. That's fun. And then I have my 3 kids, so that's my life. And then I'm like, that's good enough for 168 hours a week.
Yeah,
the kids.
I was gonna say that's a couple full-time jobs going on there. I only have 2 kids myself, and I don't know if I could take on another one right now.
I don't do 3. I love all 3 of them, but 3 is very impractical. Like my wife and I,
they outnumber you.
There's 2 of you.
Yeah,
they outnumber you.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's fun, but it's not advisable. The logistics are horrendous.
Yeah, I had a friend who he's got 3 kids. I was like, so what was the change like? He's like, yeah, well, when you have 2, you know how you have like some tough times. It's like you're sinking, you're barely swimming, you're holding them, and then instead of a life raft, somebody throws another baby at you. So
that's very eloquently put. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. You're drowning, and then it gets worse.
Yeah, but it's the best. I love having the kids. They keep me grounded and keep us going.
Totally. My youngest daughter, she's 6, so she keeps telling people that my job, and she means this. She says, what Daddy does is he takes his phone, and then he says good morning to people, and then he gets money. And she tells this to our neighbors. Like, this is what Daddy does. He says good morning to people. Yeah.
My kids are still younger. I don't quite have that yet, but that is something that is hilarious.
And she's not wrong. She's not wrong.
I mean, it's not a bad life. Get to go around saying good morning to people.
That's it. Darling, it's GM, not good morning. Come on. We practice this.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on the show. Any last words that you need to give to the listeners that need to come check out the Discord, need to check out the Vault library? What else?
Yeah. So to summarize, don't do degen stuff.
Yes.
Stake your soul. Come join the Vault Discord for any questions around staking and like all that good stuff. Like be there. Be in the library if you want to help founders do other stuff. Be kind.
Yeah. Take advantage of this opportunity. I love it. I love the mentality. Keep up like the very reasonable Twitter presence. I love it. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was a blast. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, thank you guys so much for tuning in to Solana Weekly. Once again, this is Thomas Bahamas, and I have one final ask for you guys. If you could, please subscribe on whatever player you're listening to. If you could leave a review, that would be amazing. If you want to shill me your bags, work for them. Really appreciate it. And as always, this is not financial advice, but I want you guys to accelerate, move forward, and let's get this bag. I'll catch you guys next week.